Hello, everyone, and welcome to Prada Fruits. I'm Marta, and in today's webinar, we will discover how to create an effective user onboarding flow. And we will take inspiration from our historical partner, FitnessPlayer. So it's going to be a very interactive session that I hope you will appreciate. And in the meantime, other people are joining us. I would like to encourage you to start testing the Q&A chat with me. So there is an icon and it's called Q&A. If you share with me maybe where you're from, I can also tell you where I am from and we can also test it all together. So I'll go first. I am Italian, so maybe some of you already guessed it. And it's, testing the Q&A, it's useful because it allows us to communicate during the webinar session. So anytime, if you want to try it out or if you want to submit questions, please do it and don't hesitate. And this is the best moment to do it because, we have a little bit of time before other people join. So, yeah. And I can see somebody, Jasmine is saying she's from Philippines. And I'm very glad, Jasmine, you're here. It's so nice to hear that there are people from, so many different parts of the world. And yeah, you maybe like, I don't know, guys, if you know, but we have 600 customers all over the world. So yeah, we are very happy to have many of you in our family. So thanks. And thanks for joining the webinar today. Oh, there is somebody from the UK as well, from India. It's great. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for writing. I'm also happy that, from US as well. That's cool. I don't know what time Nancy is there, so thanks for joining, because maybe it's very early on your end. But yeah, that's cool. And anytime, guys, if during the session you think, Portugal as well, that's cool. Oh, I'm so happy, guys. And I wanted to tell you that anytime, if during the session you're having questions or curiosities or even concern, please keep writing in the Q&A. And there is going to be also my colleague from support. She will help me to answer your questions, and so we can keep up with everything during this time. And yeah, I think it's 10 a.m. Okay, Nancy, so it's not that early as I thought, but of course, that's also great that you're here with us. So yeah, I'll keep the chat a little bit closer to me so that I will probably see better your replies. And I think we can start because more or less we are all here. So yeah, I want to use our time at the best. So I will start sharing the agenda of the day. And so we can see what is ready for us. And here you go. So we have few points in the agenda. It's going to be a very interactive one. So I hope you guys will take advantage of the Q&A button today. And first, I will start by telling you who is FitnessPlayer and why it's important for us to share with you their successful experience. And then we will have the practice. So we will build together an onboarding tour. And then we will have a time for question and answer. So if you have, doubts straight, like at the very moment, we can address them as well. And then there is going to be a demonstration also related to hints. Somebody calls them tooltips, but they are basically the same thing. And we will create one together. And then there is going to be, again, Q&A time. So, if something pops up in your mind, you will have time to submit it again. And so we get you covered. And yeah, I think if we should be fine, and we can start by having a look about FitnessPlayer and their website. So let me show it to you. We are here. And yes, so this one is the website of FitnessPlayer. And let me tell you who are them. So it's easier for you to understand their use case and why they are successful. So FitnessPlayer is a B2C application, and they are leader in UK and Sweden. And they provide a service for fitness trainers, because for who is asking if the session is going to be recorded, yes, you're going to even receive the recording at the end of it, so don't worry. But yes, so FitnessPlayer, as I was saying, is a leader in their field, and they are providing services for fitness trainers. In particular, they help them to create custom-made playlists for their gym classes. And this is their website. And as you can see, it's very minimal and simple. Like, it seems very user-friendly, right? There are no many features. It should be easy to navigate into it. However, even though it looks simple, their users, the fitness trainers, didn't know how to orientate into it. So it was hard for them to understand where to start, how to create a playlist, because that was their goal, create a playlist for their classes. But they didn't know how to do it. So basically they were landing here, they didn't know what to do, and then they were saying bye. So for this, FitnessPlayer was having a high churn rate and very few conversion. So at that point, they decided to try with an onboarding flow to improve the situation. And I'm sure that many of you can recognize themselves into their pattern, right? So once they created the onboarding flow, they really improved the number. Users were able to use the website in such a better way, and they were staying with them. Indeed, with the onboarding flow, FitnessPlayer had a 70% reduction of churn, and they had a 50% more of conversion. So we can say that they were very successful with that. And I hope by following this webinar, you will also get the best practice and get similar results. I just want to point that their onboarding flow is composed not just of tour and hints, but also by live ring button and checklist. And that's why we have created a webinar session that is composed of part 1, dedicated to tour and hints. That is the one that you are following today. And we are going to have a second part that is happening on the 5th of December, when we are going to discuss live ring button and checklist. So I really encourage you to also follow that one, so you can have the full picture and apply better to your onboarding content. I think it's really important. But I'm going to show you now their tour, so you can see how the onboarding tour is shaped, and you can try to take inspiration from it. You can see the first card of the tour on the screen now. And this tour is a kind of a hybrid, I will call it, because it's composed of 4 cards. The first one is a welcome card, and the other 3 are related to guiding the users through a process. So they are really cards that tell them how to complete an action. And that's what we call a feature tour. But because there is also the welcome card, we can say that is a hybrid. And this is something that you can also implement in the same way. So let me show how it looks like, so we can talk about it more in details. So as I said, this is a welcome card, and it has the function of greeting your customers so they can be, comfortable. It's their first visit. You want them to feel at home in a way. And once they move on, you can see that the tour points them directly to take an action, to complete a process. In particular, FitnessPlayer wanted their users to learn how to create a playlist, because without that, they will churn. So they teach them how to do it. And the way is to point to an element, make it very clear, and give them instruction that they cannot, confuse it. It's very straightforward. It's really simple. And you can see they even put here an animation. So people really know what they have to do. So there are no doubts. It's very simple. You click on the button and the process continues. There is another card that simply tells you, name your playlist. And once you do it, let me put here test. And I click on create because the process is guiding me. At the end, another test will appear here. So, the users are in this way able to complete a process easily, and they immediately see the value of your application. They know why they are there and they want to keep using it. So we want to do the same, and I'm going to show you how. I'm moving in the tab of our editor, and I'm going to show you how it works. It's just loading. And the editor tab is related to our extension. That is actually this one that I'm pointing now on the screen. And you can download the extension from the Google Chrome app. You just can write Chrome extension. There you type product fruits in the list and you download it. It will appear here. And once you click on it, there is the editor option. And this bar will appear on the page you selected, perhaps the page of your platform. So it's simple. And one more recommendation before starting the building part. If there is somebody between you that also is new, it's a good practice to have 3 pages open when you work on creation of a tour or hints. One is the current page with the editor. Another one is the administration page. And it's loading, yeah. So, and basically this one is the page where you land once you enter your credential in the product fruits page. And the third tab that you should have is another tab related to your platform. And in here, you will go to the extension and you will select the mode full preview. And that will give you the opportunity to see every content you created all together. Yeah, you will select this one. I hope this is clear. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to submit that. Yeah. Yeah. I just want to be sure you guys are following me. But yeah, so let's go back to the building part. I'm back to the editor page. So yeah, we are here. So to create a new tour, I'm going to click here, start editing in the section tour. You can hit the new button. Let's give it a name. I'll call it test webinar. Easy. And click on create. I'm clicking. Let me try again. I'm refreshing the page. Can happen. I hope you are still here with me. And I'm going back to the editor. Let's reopen it. Start editing, and we create a new tour. It's webinar. For some reason, the page is not loading, so I'll do the following. I'll duplicate it. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. Sometimes it can happen that for any reason, the content is not showing, but you can simply refresh it and it should work. We are in the correct. That's something that you can check, that you are in the right workspace, because sometimes it happens that you have many and the page are not showing. Yeah, you can see it now. It was just a glitch in the system. So webinar tour. And once you create it, yeah, that's what should happen. You should see add first step. So I'm here. And you will see that in this card, there is an overview of the templates that you can use to create a card in the tour. So there are templates, but there are also cards that doesn't have much content into it that you can use as just a blank space. So in this case, we want to replicate FitnessPlayer, and we will use a welcome card. If you remember, FitnessPlayer was having here a white black background and their logo. So we are going to do the same. I'm going to remove the writing, just highlighting and delete it from the keyboard. And to remove the purple background, I'm going to click in here, select the bucket icon, go on the drop. That will remove any color that was previously there. Here you go. And now to add an image, and you can add any image, or, maybe your company logo. We can go here to media, we can go to the images, and it will open the folder. I already have it prepared, so it's going to be here. And I'm going to add in the section below the text. So here, voila. So it's basically the card is ready. There is not much that I can do more. I can potentially highlight some words, but it's not really necessary in this moment. This is what FitnessPlayer was showing, and I wanted to show you how easy and simple it is to create it. One advice can be to prepare ahead how the structure of the tour should be, so it's going to be way easier to design the content around it. And we want to create the second card. If you remember, the second card was showing the user the process to create a new playlist. So we want to point them to the new playlist button. To do so, we are going to click on the plus icon. And from here, we choose highlight element. We point on the new playlist button, and we can add the text. I have it ready because I know what FitnessPlayer was placing there. We can add the same animation that they had. You can see that if I hover here, there is an icon. I can click in there. I can select text and images, because to add an animation, you can select this option. And again, let's repeat it. Media, the icon, and in this case, I will use the animation. So now it's going to appear here. As you can see, we have the exact explanation of what they have to do. And one more thing, FitnessPlayer decided to have a very straightforward tour, and also to not give users options to deviate from it. So they decided to remove skip and next button. To do so, we can use these settings on the side. If we go to card layout, you will see that we have the buttons. So if I switch off this one, the next button disappears. The same works for the skip. And if I want to remove completely the footer, I just switch off this one. And that's it. Once we are, let's say, ready with our content, when we are satisfied, we can save. And if I want to see how the users are going to preview my content, I can just click on preview here, and everything will appear. So this is the card. You can see there is a logo. We have the written content, the button points, and it moves to the My Playlist. I click here, and the flow will continue. I'm going to stop here with the, let's say, the tour building, because I want to point your attention on some other aspects of a tour that you should consider when you imagine how it should be. And after this, we are going to have time for your question and answer, so feel free to start posting them. My point is that once you create your tour, you also need to add to it segmentation, style, and be mindful of the content itself. Let me explore all of these three important things. The segmentation, it allows you to display the tour to different users. And this is like very, very important, because giving the same tours to all your users, it's a poor user experience. And you want them to feel, that you have custom content with that for them. And you want to personalize their experience and make it as best as possible. To do so, there is the segmentation that works this way. By using some rules, you are able to define some let's say, bucket of users, and each of them will have a specific content on the screen. I will show you how you can achieve that with Product Fruits by going into our administrator page, because that's where you have the segmentation for the tours. So if I open, let's say, Welcome to Fitness Tour, this one I already had prepared, you can see that we have a section that is called Display For. And in here, you can find custom rules. Custom rules are the base of the segmentation. And if you choose Add Condition, you can see some of them. For example, in user property, you can have the sign-up date as a rule for segmentation. And the way you can use it, just to give you an example, is that if you have users that are with you for 14 days, like from the sign-up date, 14 days, maybe it means that they are on trial and they are not paying for your services. So you want to offer them an onboarding tour that is on a basic level, that it gives them just a broad overview, but it delivers the main, like the basic value, right? Then you might have user that their sign-up date was 4 months ago. So they probably are paying customers and they have already the basic knowledge with them, and you want to upgrade their learning curve. So in that case, you can design for them tours that are more advanced, that they point to, more interesting feature or something, that is not for beginners anymore. And this is something that, again, you can achieve with segmentation. Also, yeah. This is something, there are many more examples, but I just want to, we don't have much time. I want to also point you towards the styling of your content. And this is something that is very, is crucial, because you want them to think, you want your user to think that the onboarding flow is something that is part of your layout, of your content. It's not something extra, because that will give them the feeling that you're very professional, that they are in a very curated website. And we have something for that as well. I'm going to show you where you can visually customize your tours, and that applies also to the hints. When you go in the tour section, you have a look and feel tab. Let me show you how it looks like. So I'm gonna also come back to your questions very soon. I will just complete this part. Yeah. And so I can show you that this is the preview of the card that you can create, like let's say the default one. And here there are all the elements that are composing the card. By clicking on the square, you can immediately change the color of it, define if you want it opaque or transparent. You can even enter your own value for the color, so you can have exactly the same color branding of your product. Let me show you. If I now save this purple color, see the card shows the background change. And so in the preview, every little change will appear. And the great thing about it is that everything you apply here will revert on your tour. So you don't have to customize every single card. But once you do it here, it applies in block to your content. So it saves your time. You can see the preview straight away. I really like it. I think it's very handy. And if you want even a further step into customization, you can play with this feature that we have in here. It's under your most likely company logo, what you have decided for your profile. And in the section settings, there is the custom CSS section as well. And in here, you can place very simple codes in CSS to shape the size of the card, the effects that you want in there, if you want some extra elements. So it's really a second level of upgrading the style. Yeah. We also have some examples that you can find in our knowledge base. But that's basically it. So I just want to mention that, my point is that when you create a tour, you have to also think about segmentation, styling, and keep your content short and sweet, because, the attention span of people, it's short. So I'm also gonna stop here for the tour, and we can have a question and answer time. I'm gonna review your questions right now. I can see that my colleague Alex was also reviewing them. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, for those of you who were asking, about creating 2 different welcome tours. Well, you can do that. And I also encourage you to create even more. Like, you can prepare 2 welcome tours, but then you can prepare different feature tours. And it's an amazing experience for users when you combine more tours, because they want to keep seeing them. Once they get used to tours, they like it. So if you prepare a welcome tour, then after a few weeks or a month, you can introduce them to new stuff and keep going, because their experience is always growing. And if they feel entertained and feel that you are giving them value, they are going to stay with you. So it's just like the onboarding is not just at the beginning, but continues with the life of your user in your application. So yeah, we really encourage you to do more. And I think more or less, like, Alex answered to everything, and our time is getting short. So I will jump to the hints part, because it's also important. I know there are many things, but you will see when you start playing with product fruits, it's going to be easier and easier. And hints are very easy also for customer to use. Let me give you an example. The hints are the same as tooltips. I don't know, guys, how you call them, but they are the same thing. And they are visual helper. So they are basically icons that are on the screen, and user can reach out to them anytime during the navigation on your platform. And the difference between tours is that, a tours pops up on your screen, it's a schedule somehow, and, users are kind of passive on them, because, they cannot decide exactly. I mean, they can, but it can also be an automated experience. But hints is something that they can reach out directly. And so it makes them more active. Like, users are questioning about something, they found the icon, they click. Let me give you straight away an example. The way how we go to the hint section is the following. We click on the button in here, the same window will pop, and instead of choosing tours, we are going to choose hint. I have one already created, so I will use it as an example. And I will click on preview so you can see how people look at it. So, for example, in here, I created the question mark. And once I click, I can find an information in here that is telling me what are the favorite tracks, for example. And plus, this is very, very useful for users. You can combine together with the hint the starting of a tour. So imagine you already created the tour. You already did the effort, prepared, imagine. So it's great, it's there. And you put it together with a hint. So when the user is questioning about something, they found an information, but also they have the chance to view the content you prepared for them. So it's an extra guidance, and they will love it, because, when you are exploring by yourself, you're always reaching out for extra understanding. And that's a nice way to do it. And having a question mark icon, it's a possibility, of course, but we have more. Let me show you how we can create a hint and a different type of it. The logic is the same. There is always the plus icon, and we have some templates in here. I will show you the flashing beacon. If I click on this one, I have to tell product fruits where you want to place it. So let's say that I want to place it where is written requests. Yeah. And in here, I can see there are the icon that we can provide. So we have question mark, the info, the flashing beacon that we are using, and the digits that I'm going to explain you in a moment. I want this one. I want it big because that will be easier. Let me move the setting column by clicking on this arrow so you can see better. So this one is the flashing beacon. And I also want to position the card below it so it doesn't cover the other feature. This is something that, an issue that you can also experience at one point. So let me show you. You can go to card position and size, and in card position, I will choose the manual option, and I want it exactly below the icon. So here, yeah, it looks nice, I think. And the color, you can see now that the color is not evident, but from the look and feel, I change it to orange, and in the preview, you will see how much is more visible. So let's check it. And why I'm pointing you to this kind of hint, the flashing beacon, because I know that my customers, they have sometimes introducing new features and people completely don't see them. Like they don't realize that there is something new. So the flashing beacon is the solution. You can apply it and people will start pointing to some specific parts where they were not paying attention before. It's very practical. It doesn't bother on the screen. It's not that big as a tool, so you can use it as an alternative, but it's always there to remind them, hey, we have this new thing here. Just try it out. It really works. And as another example, we have the digits. I will create it right now. You see, this one on the screen, it's 1. I will create a second one so you can check how it works. I am the process again, plus I'm choosing tooltip and I want to point it to libraries. I think it was there. We'll see. And again, here I'm going to choose the last one. So we have already number 1 on the screen. I'm going to choose a number 2. I'm going to make it big. And again, the position, sorry, guys. Yep, the position, I want it under the hint. Yes. And let's preview it. You can see that now users, they will see a path on the screen. So they are naturally going to number 1, then they will find, of course, information into it. Then we'll reach out to number 2. So you can guide them basically with the hints through a process. So it's a kind of a feature tour, but like more simple, but still gives them the steps that are useful to complete an action. So it works. And that's why it's important to use both hints and tours, because together they really cover the users. And you know, if they feel covered, if they feel that you are supporting them, it's going to be a great experience. So yeah, it's going to be great. And I think by this, I said almost, I cover what I wanted to cover for today about the tour and the hints. And now we have time for a question. So I'm going to read them, and feel free to post even more if you are, and of course, guys, if you have something that is popping in your mind after the session, you have my email. We can, discuss it via email. Also, like we have customer success manager team. I'm part of it. So you can always ask for an implementation session. We can review your content. This is like a great way to start your experience in Product Fruits. So I really recommend it. Okay. I'm reading. So I can see that Alex again, she was very, I have a very good colleague. She answered to everything. So, yeah, for Scott, that is also asking, about the tours, when we can see we have options also for define when a tour will be displayed. You will find it in the same section in the tours. You remember where I show you custom segmentation? In there is also the tour trigger, so you can define. I'm sorry for I have the tour on the screen. Hey. Yeah. Okay. So we have different type of ways to start a tour. You can set it up scheduled, so it can be, you can repeat it on the screen of the users so they can see it later. And if you follow the next webinar, we are going to also show you how you can integrate a tour in in the onboarding, and there is going to be the checklist. And from there, user can also start a tour manually. It's a way to improve their experience as well. Yeah. What else? We have also a section for Pedro was asking about the metrics. I can see that Alex replied. I just wanted to share it with everybody because I know that having analytics is something that is very important for many of you, and we have that. We are also working on improving it. So we will share with you soon very good news about it. But at the moment, we have two sections, the performance insight that you can find it here. And also, yeah, it's loading, of course. It will be here. If I select, let me see if I have some content displayed. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the results right now, but you will see that you have a range of time in here. And once you select a specific tour, you're going to have some graphics appearing here that will show you how the tour is perceived by the users. So you can see which cards are the most appreciated or where their interest is starting losing along the way. And yeah, I think, and the other section that Alex was mentioning is in here. You have tracked users, and you will be able to see the results of your user here. Unfortunately, because this was a webinar test, I don't have user logged in, but if this is something that you want to have more information about, just let us know and we can organize another webinar related to the analytics and how to, integrate maybe other also third-party users application to check that. But yeah, I think we should be good now. I see all the questions are answered. And I hope you guys enjoyed the session, and really feel free to give us feedback and to reach out to us. It's definitely a pleasure to have you with us. So thanks for, participating from so many parts of the world. It was really my pleasure. And yeah, I hope to see you on the 5th of December. We will send you a notification for it. And thanks. It was it was great. Thank you so much for having me and my colleagues today. Yeah. So see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.